It is not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives. It is what we do consistently. Profound words from a wise man. So, consistency in the context of learning English is what we are going to be talking about today. So, stick around if you are struggling to be consistent in your English learning. Well, call it a skill, a positive attribute, a quality, or a trait of your personality. When you are consistent, when you are full of consistency, you behave or perform in a similar way, in a similar fashion until you hit the goal you are aiming for. And believe me, it's pretty magical when you are in for learning a language, when you are striving to achieve a certain goal, or when you are trying to acquire a new skill. Cliche as it might sound, but consistency is the key to success in any given field or in any area of our lives. The equation is pretty simple. Consistency leads to habits, habits form the action we take every single day, and consistent and regular action lead us to our goals. But consistency is not on-off thing. You need to be consistent in your thoughts and in your actions in order to create what it is that you want to achieve. For instance, in order to achieve a desired weight, a fit body, you need to work out consistently, not once in a while. You want to write a book, you want to be a writer, you got to show up for writing every single day, not once in a blue moon. Similarly, in order to become a fluent English speaker, you need to practice regularly, not on and off. You must have heard the very popular and timeless fable of hare and tortoise, wherein the hare could not win the race despite having an incredible speed and a significant lead on the tortoise. Well, tortoise on the other hand was pretty slow, but with his persistence, he kept moving on and put in his best. Now imagine if the tortoise would have stopped somewhere in the middle and conceded the defeat without finishing the race. So what do you think helped the tortoise win the race? Consistency. Consistency in his thoughts, consistency in his actions, consistency in his pace lead the tortoise to claim the trophy. So without a shadow of doubt, we can say that consistency is more important than intensity. Frequent small steps can beat occasional giant leaps anytime and every time. Easier said than done. I know it sounds pretty simple and tempting on the surface, but when we try to implement it in our day-to-day lives, it proves to be a real test of our patience and perseverance. Yes, your patience and your perseverance are the key components of you being consistent in any of your pursuits. Achieving a task, an assignment, a project, a goal, or a dream takes time and a process, right? And success is the reward of working the process that is necessary for the time that is required. It is simply the nature of the world in which we live and work. Now, perseverance is being relentless about doing that needs to be done for as long as it takes. Perseverance is essential because there is always a plan that requires a great deal of effort and endurance. But if you are relentless, if you are persistent, you don't give up. You don't listen to that quitting voice in your head. You trust the process, do the work, and keep going on. Patience, on the other hand, is the strength of will to navigate obstacles and challenges while working the process. Patience is essential because there are problems along the way. There are people who irritate you, situations that frustrate you. But if you are patient, you don't let anything bother you. You don't let anything distract you. You trust the process, do the work, and keep going on. Now let's talk about consistency in the context of learning English. But first, let's take a real quick look on what not being consistent looks like. Well, not being consistent is when you start learning the language out of a sudden burst of inspiration without any plan in place and a specific goal in mind. You set out with a lot of excitement, enthusiasm, motivation, and determination. Ready to make a change, you turn your life and routine completely upside down. You spend hours and hours studying and learning English. You go after it full throttle, thinking that you are gonna nail it in no time. But after some time, with little or no evidence of progress, you start losing the initial energy and excitement. A little further along, you lose focus, you feel less motivated, you feel challenged, and it gets harder and harder to move forward. Now you struggle. Of course, you try to recapture the energy, excitement, and enthusiasm that got you started on the path. But when it doesn't work, you throw in the towel. You stop learning the language altogether. Somewhere down the line, you start all over again with renewed energy and motivation. But your goal of attaining fluency in the language still seems far, far away. It appears to be a humongous task to accomplish. Now you get overwhelmed and you stop learning the language once again. I know, I have been there. I have been through all of this. Now if this is what's happening to you, if you find yourself in the vicious cycle, if you find yourself on the hamster wheel, going round and round over and over again, you need to get off it. You need to build some consistency in your English learning. Because as an English learner, you lose a level much faster than you obtain it. And then you have to start it all over again. To make a consistent progress, to make a steady progress, you need to stay consistent in the game until the end. So today I am going to share with you some tips that will help you to behave differently, show up differently, and do things differently. Well, to be consistent in your English learning until you hit your goal of attaining fluency in the language, first and foremost, you need to have a strong reason in place. Now, if you are like, why do I need a reason to learn English? I just want to learn it. Isn't that enough? No, it's not. You know what? At the core of everything we do, there is a reason. That reason motivates us to take action. Now, if you don't have a good enough or a big enough reason, you are not going to do what it takes to do it. But if you have a strong reason, a reason that resonates with you, a reason that speaks to you, believe me, you would go far and beyond, over and across, to get your hands on what it is that you want to achieve. So what I mean to say is, with a reason in hand, you will do anything and everything to learn English, to become a fluent English speaker, no matter how far you have to go down the road. Because there is a reason, an intense desire to fuel you, to drive you, to motivate you, to give you that push when you feel stuck, when the going gets really tough. Most people start with the how I am gonna do that, how I am gonna learn English. Please don't be that person. If you really want to achieve your goal of fluency in the language, start with why. Why do I want to learn English? Why do I want to become a fluent English speaker? What's for me in there? The stronger your why is, the easier it is to figure out how. So take a moment and think of a strong reason. A reason that resonates with you, a reason that you feel connected to. Now when you feel stuck, when the going gets really tough, when you feel challenged, when you lose focus, when you feel less motivated, when you feel exhausted, just bring yourself back to your reason. And remind yourself, why did you start learning the language in the first place? And then visualize the outcome of the whole experience. If your reason is strong enough, believe me, you will find yourself back in the game in no time. Another important thing that can help you to stay consistent in your English learning is your understanding of the whole learning process. How well do you know the process you are going to follow to get to your goal? How well do you know the way to get to your destination? It is just like your navigation device. See, if you have any confusion, any misconception, or any wrong idea about the learning process, then you are likely to develop an attitude or system for yourself that is not in line with the actual learning process. Such an attitude or system can be counterproductive and might leave you confused, stagnant, frustrated, or can even sabotage your entire learning process. To avoid the situation, better understand the process beforehand. How long will it take me to complete the process? How often do I need to practice? Resources I need to get my hands on. Where to reach out for support? I mean, you should have a crystal clear idea of what you are getting into. Only then you can ebb and flow naturally with natural conflicts along the way and stay consistent in the game. Finally, learning a new language is all about creating new neural pathways in your brain. It is all about acquiring a new set of habits. And it takes a whole lot of consistent efforts in the form of repetition and practice. It takes a lot of exposure to the language through reading, writing, listening, watching, thinking, and eventually speaking. So what you need to do is you need to expose yourself to the language as much as you possibly can. And what could be the best way to achieve it other than by surrounding yourself with the language? Yes, you need to surround yourself with English in a way that you have no choice but to use it. Thanks to technology and some human ingenuity, now you can surround yourself with any language, anywhere, anytime. Now if you could do this, now if you could surround yourself with English, if you could create an environment full of English around you and immerse yourself in the language 24/7, the learning will happen automatically, consciously and unconsciously, every single day. In fact, in every single moment of every single day. And you can stay consistent until the end, until you get there, until you become a fluent English speaker. Well, that's it for today. If you like the video, leave a like. Consider subscribing for more videos like this. I'm gonna see you in my next video. Until then, it's Inder with Shine anywhere and everywhere saying goodbye.